Welcome back to another Alliance War. We have 4 Loki versus the Indian Avengers, and they banned Ghost, Shuri, and Scorp this war. I have a very short war 12, and I don't have that many fights this war either, so I'm just combining the last 2 wars of the season. And let's get into it. I will be bringing in Kindred, and this is why every time I bring in Kindred, I'm kind of limited on fights I can take on the map. Just simply because he's brought in for a Myestro on Hazard Shift. So he doesn't really work well in other fights. And I'm bringing in Wags and Sunspot as well. So I'm basically on Sunspot and Myestro duty this war. And this time I'm on Bullseye and Maestro duty, and this time the Bullseye is on 49, which I actually thought a lot about this season, and I have a strategy for it. It doesn't actually work out too well for me because mainly I've never taken it on that node, so I lost track of. I just didn't have an experience, or I lost track of the stun and what I wanted to do. Clown actually took it in War 12. This is War 11 for us. And he absolutely did a great job on that fight. So shout out to Clown. He absolutely slaughtered it. My job here basically is to wait for lags to Gallon nuke that Doom. I'm going to take that Mantis with Wags. Then I'll take this Atuma I'm splitting pass for Mad Cat. And then I will be taking this Myestro right here. And it's an R2. I've taken an R3 before, so I'm not too worried, although I will not be thinking about food while I take that fight. And then this big boy right here, this R5 Ascended Bullseye. So let's get into the first fight. So the plan basically here is I'm not going to use a White Magneto pre-fight. I want to keep as many I want to gain persistent charges from my Sig and beating her, and I don't want to use any persistent charges, so I'm using the combat regen so I can parry at the start. What not using a White Magneto pre-fight does is I get higher chance to get more prowess, and if I get in trouble with Mantis, basically she throws an SB1, I can always remove the ZZZ timer just by throwing a special. Even if they're stacked, there's 2, I can just get rid of it. So mainly I can parry while I have an active regen effect on, so her tranquilize won't apply, so that's perfectly fine. She throws his SB2 and I'm like, okay, stuff's working just fine. I throw that special 2. I'm running power backs just so I can always have a bar of power, and I just want to be aware of one thing, which I actually lose track of, that tranquilize will fail my parry. So everything's fine right here, and I go to parry and I go to heavy thinking it landed, and boom, she clips me, and I'm like, oh, okay, just bait heavies for an opening, and that's all I got to do to basically win this fight. I'm gonna throw my relic into a combo into my special 2 and end the fight. So I got a little sketch right there. I lost track of that tranquilize because I was so used to the regen effect taking care of it, but here we have this Atuma, and the node really doesn't do anything unless I block any of his specials. That prowess will mean that I take quite a bit of chip damage. But I have Sun God here, so I am going to be taking him down rather easily. You remove hydration stacks with Sunspot every time you apply an Incinerate against Atuma. So he doesn't have any until he throws a special, but you see at this point he's 66%. I haven't even thrown my special 1. I'm actually not going to throw it. I'm just going to bait the special 1, and then I'm going to launch my special 2. I'm going to bait this heavy for an opening, and I end the fight at 100% or 99%. The regen boost really helped with the chip damage on him, so that was easy enough. Mad Cat took that Joe Fixit, and now we have this Myestro. And Moe took this fight actually with an unduped 7-star. And when I messed up, my Sig completely saved me. He actually had a huge butt clencher. because it's unduped, and yeah, he had a close call, but he did not die in that fight. So shout out to Moe. But I was telling him that I like to spam special ones because the degens, if you can spam special ones while your outbreak is active, the nightmare outbreak, he does quite a bit of damage. So what I want to do here that I didn't do the first 2 times that I took him is I'm basically doing medium, light, medium. I'm maximizing the centipede strikes with the mediums while minimizing the power that I give him. So there I get pushed to an SB2. I wanted that to be an SB1, but it's okay because he's still under 50 charges, so it actually feeds the charges up a little bit faster. And at this point, you know, I wanna basically get to that 50 mark, and boom, I throw my relic, and I'm gonna medium into my special 1 and let everything kind of cook. And you see there, about 45 seconds into the fight, he's about 50%, and he throws this this heavy. I get another special 1, and I'm just holding block because I really want to throw another special 1. So I get 3 in that cycle with that outbreak, and he throws a special 2, and I'm like, all right, perfect. Now basically the fight slows down. So this is where he gets his cosmic radiation, and the MD pushes me to 2 bars, which is fine because at this point I do want to stack more of my outbreak charges. So I push him to special 2 so he can dex it. If he has an atrophy, he won't root you, and that's something I also wanted to keep in mind. I want to keep those atrophies up, so that's what clipped me in that last fight. But at this point the fight is over, and it was super smooth. So especially at an R2, Kindred can definitely take him down quite smooth. So this fight, the plan was to power start 1. I'm a Horseman, and I have a White Magneto pre-fight, which he can't stun, but I need to put the stun reflection on cooldown with an Incinerate. So what I'm gonna do is I have max recoil on here and the bleed, and similar to the last war, I'm going to throw my special 1, and I'm not gonna parry heavy to charge up my power. The Incinerates last longer when you throw the special 1. So I want those to carry me, to have PDP, polka dot power, carry me up to a special 2. Just let my Incinerates do that. And I'm going to parry and hit him once to limit the power that I'm feeding him. But what I want to do is also parry and combo into the cooldown, so I can put it back on cooldown. So it's about, as it's about to refresh. See right there, I parry once and hit him, but then I'm like, oh, I didn't have time to parry again because the stun was too long. So there I get it intercepted. I'm like, okay. So I hit him once, and I'm letting polka dot power you know, carry me. And right there I probably should have done a full combo. And here I'm like, I want to bait the special 1. He actually throws it as I'm dashing back, and I take it all to the face, and I'm like, okay, now I'm in the corner. I need to if I would have just hit him there after that heavy, but I get this intercept, and now those incinerates are going to carry me to a special 2, and boom, he dies. So it was definitely sloppy. I would recommend watching Clown's video on it. He actually did it way better than I did, so shout out to him. We did win this war. Shout out to Karate Mike, Trappy, and Clown as the MVPs. This locked in Masters for us, and the next war we have can potentially seal top 10. So we are going up against EliteBr, and I have a very short war. I actually had more fights, but we needed to get an Odin to an EMP spot, so I had to rearrange my team. I'm bringing in Professor X because I will be taking a Kindred. I'm bringing in Wags because I will be placing pre-fights around the map. So I only actually have 2 fights, and it's just going to be Kindred on path 5, where he goes debuff immune on knockdown, and then a Nova right after. So I'm not ramped with Professor X, so I throw on max recoil, and I use a White Magneto pre-fight here. The plan basically is to use my class boost to spam special 3s. The special 3 is going to take him into his root, but it will break the root, and I will be able to kill him with the last special 3 when he's at 1%. So I was going to take this Shuri. I was going to bring in Photon, And I was going to Professor X this abs man, and then I was going to take this bullseye as well. And I actually still could have taken it, I think, but I was only going to have one charge on Professor X, so we opted for something else. But this is the spot that I needed to place the Odin on. So you see Mad Cat's already there, so I'm just getting I'm getting my fights over with so I can get to pre-fight duty. So I debated on not using a White Magneto pre-fight here. I'm glad I did, only because we actually had a bunch on the map that we, were just spreading around. So it definitely, didn't need to. And I didn't use one on the next fight, so I was gonna get it back. But I'm gonna parry heavy, and then when he goes stun immune, and I'm gonna be aware that when he is stun immune or when he throws a heavy to dash back once, even right there at the beginning, dash back once and just heavy counter. So Professor X doesn't make contact with anything but his first medium, and Kindred, actually you build more charges on yourself when you make contact hits. So the fact that I'm parrying here and then heavying, I'm not gaining any more nightmare charges off of that. So here I'm just trying to ramp to 100 and keep him, get to a special 3 before he's at 50. That's why I did a power start 1, and at that point the fight went exactly how I wanted, and I throw this first special 3, and I'm looking at this now, and I'm realizing that 150% boost and an 8% boost is enough for this fight, and because it's just doing massive amount of damage with max recoil. It's really what powers X. The second special 2 pushes him to to the 1% mark, and at this point I'm just gonna wait a little bit and then throw my special 2 or special 3, and it kills him. So super straightforward fight. Nothing too crazy to worry about there. As long as you don't eat any special ones or to the face, it's pretty smooth. So next up I have this Nova, and Nova, I love using White Magneto for Nova. I probably will R5 White Magneto, to be honest with you. I'm kind of waiting to see if they make him a 7-star, but I may rank 5 him and ascend him, to be honest with you, because I really do like the Sig, mainly that you get another persistent charge for winning the fight, so you don't always have to fight metal. Here I'm going to gain one because he's metal, because I won the fight and my Sig. But the plan is basically to obviously parry heavy. I want to stay close to him, so I want to try to get him to throw lights, so I don't have to deal with the heavy unstoppable. And White Magneto is going to shut off his kit 70% of the time. So this is why I stay aggressive, and because of White Magneto's abilities, he reduces their combat power rate. So Nova isn't gaining as much power when I hit him, and he also, it doesn't auto block me as much and stuff of that nature. Now I did change the relic on White Magneto because I don't want to be unblockable with Storm and my prowess building up with the Storm relic. So because that's not good for Nova. So here I'm just waiting for an opening. I use my relic to get a heavy. I almost whiffed on it, but he turned off actually the node with that knockdown, and the power back shoots me back up to a special 2, and the Fury comes back, and the last special 2 kills him. So that was my war, super quick war, and that was the end of the season. We did end up winning this war. Shout out to Karate Mike, the B-Manny, and Clown for the MVPs. This sealed top 10 for us. We went into the season not knowing much about the global, but we did rather well, so I'm excited for the next season new meta. Let's take a look at the end of the season stats. And here are the end of the season stats. As you can see, I had 52 total fights. I had 1 death that first war to Morbius with Mantis. Chalk that up to first war nerfs and, not being really comfortable with the global. Professor X ended up taking 10 fights this season, which is more than I thought he would. Chavez came in with 9, and Wags actually had 6 along with Shuri.
Shuri was great for the 2 boss solos that I had. Moondragon was a lot of fun. I used her on a Silk boss. I don't know how well she will work for the next global, but I did like using her. She is just very intercept heavy. So Kindred made and more than an appearance. He handled a couple Maestros rather well, and Photon did about 4 fights. So all in all, it was a season full of lots of different champs, which is kind of what my role was in the battle group. We have a lot of great players in my battle group who like to use preferred champs that can smoke a lot of tough fights. So more power to them, and we work well as we synergize. We didn't get a donut this season, but we came close. We got a lot of 50 and 1s. So overall, it was a learning experience with this tough meta. The next meta will be something different, and I hope that it's not bugged, and I hope that the designers of the next war meta remember that this is supposed to be fun to plan and fun to play, and if you're just trying to kill us, you're not making it fun for everybody. I will try to upload next season in a more timely manner, and I'm gonna explore streaming a bit, see if I can figure that out. I have an iPad 12. It's huge, so I don't like playing on it, but it's easier to stream on that device than on my phone. So the overall, shout out to my entire battle group. They do an awesome job dealing with all the direct messages I send them about war and asking for what I call war porn, their videos. So I will catch you guys in the next one, and I will see you in the off season.